Check this video out, y'all. This Sasquatch was recorded in East Texas on a trail cam. Seems to be a male, a massive male.
This video has become very popular among Bigfoot fans because of how clear and interesting it is. At first, nobody knew where the video came from or where it was filmed, but we now know it was taken in East Texas using a trail camera. This clear footage has sparked a lot of curiosity. The footage. The creature shown in the video looks like a male Bigfoot. Its body is big and muscular, with wide shoulders, fitting the usual description of a Sasquatch. But there's something odd about the way it moves its hand while walking. It almost seems like the hand doesn't have fingers, which makes it even more mysterious. There's no way to say for sure if this is a real Bigfoot, but the details make it really fascinating. The way the creature moves and how realistic it looks make this video stand out from others like it. In another part of the video, a similar creature is spotted in a remote area. This time, it's a dark, human-like figure moving very quickly across a hill. Its speed and long steps are surprising, far faster than a person could manage. When the video is zoomed in, you can see just how fast it's going, adding even more mystery to the sighting. For people who believe in Bigfoot, this video might be some of the best evidence yet. It's hard not to be amazed by the details, and it has left many viewers wondering what they've just seen. More recent sightings. Now let's take a closer look at some of the most fascinating Bigfoot sightings and evidence that have been shared recently. One of the most talked about examples comes from a man named Matt Moneymaker. He shared a set of photos taken in Washington State back in 2017, and they've recently gone viral online. According to reports, an elk hunter in Colorado saw a creature that looked almost exactly like the one in these photos. The pictures themselves are incredible. In the first one, you can see the figure hunched over, moving quickly toward a tree. In the second, it's stepping into a clearing, walking through the brush. But the third photo is the most striking of all. It's very clear and shows details like well-defined muscles in its arms and shoulders. The fur doesn't look fake or like a costume. It seems to be growing naturally from the body. The face is also very detailed, with features similar to a gorilla, a strong nose, prominent cheekbones, and a unique head shape. Despite the ape-like appearance, the way it stands and moves is very human. These photos were taken before AI technology became common, which adds to their authenticity. Could this be the real deal? It's hard not to wonder. Another recent sighting happened at Stone Lick Lake in Ohio.
Recently, a series of intriguing photos taken at Stone Lick Lake in Ohio were shared in a Facebook post.
A Facebook post featuring photos claimed that even the sheriff's department confirmed they were real. These pictures quickly went viral, and a group from the Finding Bigfoot organization went to investigate. Although details about the person who posted the photos aren't clear, the images have created a lot of excitement. People living near the lake have started heading into the woods with their cameras, hoping to catch a glimpse of Bigfoot for themselves. The community has become energized by this mystery, with many people sharing their thoughts and theories about what might be out there. There's more. A YouTube channel called Voyager Overland, which focuses on off-road adventures, captured something unusual during a trip to Ruby Falls in the Alberta Rockies. The team had set up a trail camera near their Jeep, and when they checked the footage, they found something strange. A figure appeared on camera during the night, and what makes it so interesting is how it looks almost see-through in parts of the video. This might be caused by motion blur, or the camera not having enough infrared light to capture the image clearly. Even so, it's an unusual find, and it stands out from typical trail camera footage. By running the image through a light filter and enlarging it by 150%, the figure's details became more visible. The dark, shadowy shape seemed human-like, but didn't fully match anything familiar. This enhancement revealed just enough to make it both strange and captivating, leaving everyone who saw it scratching their heads. What could it be? The filtered image doesn't provide solid answers, but it's hard to ignore how unsettling and fascinating it looks. On the Nevada-Utah border. In another encounter, A woman named Emma had a startling experience while walking her dog near her home on the Nevada-Utah border. She set out for what seemed like a normal walk, snapping pictures of the fog-covered mountains along the way. But later, as she reviewed her photos, she noticed something she hadn't seen at the time: a tall, black figure standing on the edge of a hill in the distance. The shape was striking, resembling a large, human-like figure, but with features that also hinted at something ape-like. Its size and presence seemed out of place, especially in such a remote area. Emma was left shocked and unsettled. Could this be another glimpse of Bigfoot? Or is there another explanation for the strange figure in her photo? The image has sparked a wave of discussion, with people analyzing the shape and debating what might have been lurking in those hills. But perhaps the most chilling story involves a video that has left viewers on edge. It shows a massive, Bigfoot-like creature stalking a girl and her dog deep in the woods. The footage captures a tense moment as the girl, seemingly unaware of any danger, walks through the forest with her dog by her side. In the background, a towering, hairy figure can be seen moving stealthily among the trees. The creature's movements are deliberate, almost calculated, as if it's carefully staying out of sight while still keeping its presence known. Its size and the way it blends into the forest make the encounter even more unsettling. The girl and her dog seem completely oblivious to the lurking figure, adding an extra layer of suspense. This video has caused a wave of reactions online. Some viewers are convinced it's real, pointing to the creature's size, shape, and movements as evidence of something more than just a hoax. Others remain skeptical, but admit the footage is unsettling and hard to dismiss outright. What stands out most is the eerie way the creature seems to move. It doesn't look clumsy or fake like a person in a costume. Instead, it appears natural, as though it truly belongs in the forest. The towering frame, the thick, hairy body, and the way it seems to blend into the shadows of the trees make it feel almost too real to be staged. This encounter has sparked a flurry of theories and questions. Could this be actual footage of Bigfoot in the wild? Or is there another explanation for what the video captured? The intense reactions from viewers show just how deeply this mystery resonates with people. Some are frightened, while others are thrilled by the possibility of uncovering the truth about what might be lurking in the woods. As more people analyze the footage and photos, questions remain. Could these be real evidence of the legendary creature? Or are we witnessing a series of cleverly executed hoaxes?
Dog, can you please for a minute? Come. Stop. There's something. There's no Dogs.
Deer hunting gone wrong. Another dangerous encounter comes from the late Mike Woolley, who shared an incredible story from December 1981. At the time, Mike was out deer hunting in Keatchie, Louisiana. That afternoon, he climbed up to his deer stand around 3 p.m., settling in to watch for movement. The stand was about 1.5 miles down an old logging road, surrounded by dense forest. After about 30 minutes, Mike spotted a doe, a female deer, that appeared to be running for its life. She was drenched in sweat and looked panicked, which made him think she was being chased by a predator. Mike scanned the area carefully, expecting a typical predator like a coyote or a bobcat to appear. But instead, something entirely unexpected caught his eye. From the corner of his vision, he noticed a tall, jet-black figure standing near a tree, only about 20 yards away. It was massive, around 7 to 8 feet tall, and covered in thick, dark hair. Its body looked powerful and muscular, almost like a gorilla, but Mike immediately dismissed that idea. There are no gorillas in Louisiana. At first, Mike thought it might be someone pulling a prank, perhaps dressed in a costume to scare him. He shouted at the figure, demanding that it take off the mask and get out of here. But the creature didn't move or respond like a person would. Instead, it locked eyes with him, staring with a level of intensity that Mike later described as unnerving. It wasn't just looking at him. It felt like the creature was staring into his very soul. The standoff lasted for what felt like several minutes. Mike sat frozen in his stand, feeling a mix of fear and disbelief. The creature didn't make any aggressive moves, but its presence was intimidating. Mike noted how intelligent the being seemed. Its gaze wasn't that of a mindless animal. It was calculating, aware, and almost human in its behavior. This wasn't like anything he had ever seen before, and it left a lasting impression on him. The situation escalated when the creature let out a deafening roar. Moments later, a faint whistle echoed from the forest, as if signaling the creature. Then, to Mike's horror, he heard something rushing toward him from the direction of the whistle. Frozen in fear, he watched as the creature charged at him through the dense vegetation. In a split-second decision, Mike fired a warning shot, hitting a nearby tree. The noise startled the creature just enough to give Mike the chance to escape. Running as fast as he could, Mike made it back to his truck, heart pounding and adrenaline surging. Even in the midst of such danger, Mike was struck by one overwhelming thought. This creature is too human. Something deep inside him told him it wasn't right to shoot directly at it. Its eyes, its expressions, its entire presence felt too close to human, leaving Mike unable to pull the trigger. He later described the creature's posture and movement as distinctly bipedal, walking upright like a human. The face, with its tanned complexion, was unforgettable. This moral dilemma stayed with Mike long after the encounter, solidifying his belief that he had witnessed something extraordinary and unexplainable. Years later, Mike's story remains one of the most detailed and chilling accounts of a Bigfoot sighting. It's not just the description of the creature that captivates, but also the raw emotion and humanity in his decision not to harm it. This encounter challenges the line between myth and reality, raising questions about what truly exists in the unexplored corners of the world.
I didn't shoot it, but it was just too human. The face was too human, the eyelashes, but I couldn't pull the trigger because something told me this ain't right. It's not the right thing to do.
Not far from Kiachi, sightings like these have inspired curiosity, fear, and wonder in equal measure. Whether you believe in Bigfoot or not, stories like Mike's keep the mystery alive. They remind us that there are still unexplored territories in both nature and our understanding of it, waiting to be explored. This is one story of many, but its detail and intensity make it unforgettable. The quality of the video is less than ideal, and it's clear that the footage is murky and blurry, making it hard to discern every detail. Yet, there's something about the size of the creature in the video that demands attention. Despite the unclear nature of the image, the figure is unmistakably large, and this immediately catches the eye. People can't help but wonder, could this be a glimpse of the legendary Bigfoot, or is it something else entirely? The video has sparked much discussion online, with viewers sharing their theories and opinions. Some believe they're seeing a Sasquatch, while others have other ideas. Whatever the case may be, the sheer size of the creature is enough to raise questions. Deep in the Sam Houston forest. In another interesting story, a hiker had been taking in the beautiful scenery of the Sam Houston National Forest in Montgomery, Texas. He was out enjoying the peaceful surroundings when something strange and unusual caught his attention. What he heard, he couldn't quite explain, but it immediately set him on edge. He started recording, unsure of what he was capturing. The sounds he recorded started with a loud, unmistakable howl, resembling something similar to a wolf's cry. But as the sound continued, it became eerily more human-like. It wasn't just one creature making these sounds, others joined in, creating a strange and haunting chorus that seemed to fill the entire forest. The sounds were so close, so real, that they felt almost tangible, making the hiker feel as though he was surrounded by something unknown and possibly dangerous. The hiker, clearly disturbed by what he had captured, couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't alone in the woods. The sounds, which began as a lone howl, soon transformed into a symphony of eerie noises that seemed almost calculated. As the howls continued, the sounds shifted and grew, taking on a distinctly human tone. This change in the noise only intensified the fear and confusion. It was as if these creatures were communicating with each other, or maybe even with the hiker himself. In the eerie silence that followed, the hiker began to wonder if the dog with him was reacting to something far more sinister in the forest. Could this be the work of Bigfoot? Some people have suggested that this was indeed a Sasquatch encounter, while others believe it may have been a different creature altogether. Still, the mystery of what was actually out there remains unanswered, leaving many wondering if the dog's odd behavior was a sign of something dangerous nearby.
We came from there. I don't think it's...
North Georgia isn't safe either. In yet another strange and unsettling encounter, two investigators returned to a hunter's camp in North Georgia, an area where they had previously experienced strange and unexplainable events. They were determined to get to the bottom of whatever had happened during their last visit. Armed with tools to communicate with whatever might be out there, they set up camp and began trying to make contact. They used the technique of knocking on trees, hoping to elicit a response from any unseen creatures in the area. They weren't sure what they were expecting, but when the sound started to come in response, they couldn't ignore the unsettling feeling growing in the pit of their stomachs. As they continued knocking, eerie and unsettling noises began filling the air, and the atmosphere around them grew tense. The sounds were strange and unlike anything they had ever heard before. Soon, a chilling scream echoed through the trees, sending shivers down their spines. The scream was unmistakably human, but not like any human cry they had ever encountered. It was deep, guttural, and raw, sending an unmistakable message. They were not alone.
Whoa. That was a scream.
Yeah, that was a human scream, I think.
Sounds like they're communicating.
The investigators, now on edge, knew something was out there with them in the woods. They were not welcome, and the air around them was thick with tension. As the night wore on, the investigators' fear deepened. The strange noises persisted, growing more intense as time went on. The feeling of being watched grew stronger, and every crunch of leaves underfoot sent their hearts racing. They began hearing footsteps, not their own, but someone or something else walking through the forest. They caught glimpses of shadowy figures at the edges of their vision, just out of sight. It was as though something was moving just beyond their reach, watching them, waiting for the right moment to make its presence known. The investigators grew more and more unnerved, and the atmosphere turned thick with dread. The feeling of being stalked was palpable, and the hair on the back of their necks stood up as if they were being followed. After a while, the investigators noticed that their equipment began malfunctioning. Their electronic devices, which were usually reliable, began to act up, and they couldn't help but feel as though something unseen was messing with their gear. This only added to the eerie feeling that something wasn't right in the woods. It was as though an unseen force was interfering with their attempts to document what was happening. The investigators, feeling increasingly anxious, eventually made the difficult decision to call it a night. The mounting tension and the strange occurrences were too much to ignore. They decided it was best to retreat from the unsettling atmosphere that surrounded them. It wasn't a decision they made lightly, but the events of the night left them feeling vulnerable and exposed. Face to face with the lens. In another strange encounter, a trail camera set up by a man hoping to capture footage of local wildlife ended up recording something much more mysterious. Rather than the usual deer or small animals he had hoped to see, the camera picked up a dark, fur-covered figure standing in front of the lens. The figure had a dome-shaped head, and its eyes seemed to reflect the light in a way that was unsettling. The man, confused and startled by what he had captured, shared the footage online in the hopes that others could help him identify the creature. His first thought was that it might be Bigfoot, but not everyone agreed with him. Some viewers suggested that the creature appeared more like a gorilla than a Sasquatch. What added to the mystery of the footage was a local legend about a creature known as the Shadow Beast. According to the lore, this creature is an ancient being that roams the forest, avoiding human eyes. It is said that if you meet its gaze, you will be plagued by strange dreams and hear the sound of footsteps following you wherever you go. Could this footage have captured the elusive Shadow Beast? Or was it something more familiar, like Bigfoot? Some viewers believe it's a classic Sasquatch encounter, while others remain skeptical. In an even more mysterious turn of events, The footage was later confirmed to have been recorded on September 6, 2012. The creature in the video displays physical traits that are strikingly similar to those of Bigfoot. The features are compelling: large reflective eyes, a prominent brow ridge, and a cranial keel that slopes backward, giving the creature's head a unique shape. The creature's face is light brown, almost as if it has a deep tan. It has a long upper lip, large teeth, and distinct spinous processes along its spine, contributing to its thick neck and high-set shoulders. Many who view the footage believe it aligns closely with the physical characteristics described in Bigfoot sightings. However, skeptics still raise doubts, arguing that the footage could be a hoax. The debate over Bigfoot has persisted for decades, with strong opinions on both sides. Skeptics dismiss every piece of evidence, while researchers argue that sightings, tracks, and audio recordings are the ultimate proof of Bigfoot's existence. Personal experiences have convinced many people that Sasquatch is real, and they believe it's only a matter of time before the world at large accepts this truth. Whether this footage is genuine or not, it certainly adds to the mystery of the Bigfoot legend. What do you think? Could this footage really show Bigfoot? Or is it simply another hoax or misidentified creature?